Well, hey there, my fellow dorky daddies. How y'all doing? DaVinci Resolve 19 beta just dropped. That is right, another year, another Resolve version, baby. I just finished a video that I absolutely loved, and I edited the entire thing in the Resolve 19 beta. And I have some thoughts, but I do want to say there are a few key new features in this version that made that video possible that wouldn't have been possible before. We're going to talk about them today. So let's just dive right into it. What new features in DaVinci Resolve 19 are worth talking about from good old Daddy Jake? Dorky daddies, let's get out my notes. How are we doing? So first things first, the big feature that I'm loving right now is the music remixer. What is this feature? Why do I care? At the track level now in DaVinci Resolve, you are able to basically take in a music track that is not split out into stems, and then in that track decide what certain stems you want to either have or not have. And then if you just duplicate that clip into other tracks, you can then do all of the different splits that you would like to do with a track that doesn't have stems, and now you can do it in Resolve. It's actually stupid how well it works. Sometimes I want to just pull out the violin. Sometimes there's a song that's an absolute heater, but I hate the voice and I want to turn the voice off. This is the best feature by far,
I think, in this new version.
Feature number 2 is auto ducking. Now, this was something you could kind of do through side chaining and compressors in Fairlight before, but now it's just that much easier. If you don't know what ducking is, it's not the bird. It's actually a technique in which you basically just lower the volume of another track to let another track have room to breathe. This is super common to do with your music, where if you've got music playing and someone's talking, you want to duck the music to make sure that it's lower. You know, give it a little duck, a little duck. Oh, as I bang my mic.
You know, a little duck.
This feature just lets you turn it on and it like does it automatically. So you can pick a track, you know, that has your music in it or another voice channel if you're doing a podcast or whatever. Turn on the ducker. Pick which track you want it to look at. And you can choose the level of how much you want it to duck. You can crank it all the way up. You can have it be just a slight duck. In podcast episodes, I kind of find it nice to have one of the voices duck to the other. So for me, I always duck my voice to the guests, make sure to give them priority. And it's not super noticeable, but it just allows that mix to be that much cleaner. If we have any kind of points where we're interrupting each other naturally, or it's a good moment to have us both laughing at something, just make sure that those levels are staying nice and clean
without a whole bunch of work.
Reason number 3, probably the quickest, shortest, and dirtiest and best, not best. It's not the best, but it's a really good feature, and that is the new graphical real-time analyzer EQ in the Fairlight page. Honestly, this
probably should have been there.
Every other application that I've used, like Final Cut and Logic Pro, all of their EQs had this ability, and it just allows you to EQ and make changes so much better. Thank you, DaVinci, for adding that. Reason number 4 that old Daddy Jake is loving, and that is the fixed playhead on the edit page. Now, I still have some mixed feelings about this. It's really good in a lot of ways, and there's definitely a few instances where it frustrates me, but I would say overall, after this edit and using it and really getting into the weeds with it, I think I am pretty sold on just using the fixed playhead in the edit page. In general, I just really like the playhead staying in the middle. It helps keep me focused on an edit, and I talked about it in that previous video. Again, go watch that previous video. But in that previous video, I talked about how it's just so nice for me to now easily have features on my mouse that let me move my playhead without having to try to, you know, really focus on that small little narrow strip, which I hate, to move the playhead.
I know it's probably a feature that not a lot of people will care about or want, but
I'm really, really liking that, and I think a lot of people missed it. Feature number 5 that I'm hyped on, the new Intellitrack in the tracker nodes. This is cool because it's kind of in a lot of different places. So the big headline feature was now you can track objects in the Fairlight page and do automatic panning. So like if you had something like an airplane flying across the screen, you could, you know, pan it with an intelligent tracker, which is really cool. But they also use that same technology in the tracker node, which again, the tracker node was kind of clunky. You had to really know how to play with it and tweak it and adjust all of the little boxes to try to get a really good track. And although it's not perfect, I do feel like this new Intellitracker is better. It's easier. You're just dragging the crosshairs on whatever it is you want to track. And in my experience, it's been really solid. And again, it's just taken some of that guesswork out. Some of like DaVinci is so known for just being in the weeds on so many things, and I like that this feature still feels very powerful, still very in the weeds, but it just like it kind of pulled you out of the weeds a little bit. Really liking this feature. Again, not a huge change for me, but it's just making head tracking shots a little bit easier and other places where I want to track my face onto other faces from stock footage clips or whatever. So I'm really enjoying that. I think it's a great feature.
And we are on to the third feature.
Feature number 6. Now, this was not something that I've found in any of the documentation or heard anyone talking about, but I do think that the Smart Render Cache has gotten some juice in this new 19 version. Now, again, I don't have like objective analytical data on this being the case other than just like,
Hey everyone, I use this software all the time.
take my word for it. I'm in it every single day. So if I feel like it's better, probably is. And for those of you who don't know, Smart Render Cache is just a way that Resolve basically is able to, in the background, render things that it's gonna struggle to play back in real time. It's a very cool feature. It's kind of one of those things where it's like if you're willing to take the disk hit space, you're gonna get really good playback performance. And for me, that is everything.
It never really felt
That smart historically. I don't know if I wasn't using it right or what the deal was, but it just felt like it always wanted to render stuff where I wasn't working, and it was always slow, and half the time it didn't render things that I was like, you definitely should be rendering this. It's not playing it back at full speed. So in general, in my experience with this edit, which again, I'm using a lot of Magic Animate with multiple layers, which definitely benefits and sucks a lot of juice and power. It's an amazing plugin, but it's amazing because it does so much. And in that video, having that Smart Render Cache on was great, and I had a great experience. Smart Render Cache, as far as I can tell, I think it's actually smart now. So that's feature number 6, which I am pumped on.
Daddy Jake is pumped on.
And with that, that is all of the features that are really standing out to me so far. Maybe we'll do a follow-up video the more I dig into this, but those are the big 6 right now that I really care about for the stuff that I'm working on. Thank you so much for watching. Real quick, I want to shout out our channel members who are the best. They are the nerdiest, dorkiest dads on the planet who get weekly videos where I just sit down and teach stuff. View being a channel member as a backdoor into just more casual videos with Jake, because I do those. And then I also just make videos where I actually teach things. And it's kind of a stopgap until the course can get done, which is just, it's taken me forever. Anyway, we won't talk about that today, but membership is a good route if you want to learn how I do stuff and how I'm working on things. So thank you to our channel members for supporting the channel. You guys are awesome. And with that, guys, I'm going to let you go because I got to get back to editing.